Hey, 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 I think I am live. Hey, everybody, it is Eldana. Welcome to Fair Trade Friday on the road. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so I am actually on my way to go get a puppy. You guys all know probably about Gracie, my son's dog, and he's moving out in a few weeks, and Gracie's going with him, and I realized how much I missed having a dog, and so her parents had another litter and they had a girl available, so I'm going to go get one. And what? I was like, oh, it's up by Stockton in California. So, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll just leave like mid Fair Trade Long Beach. I a couple ago, LA, and yeah, okay. And if any of you in California are familiar with the Grapevine, well, apparently I am not out of it yet. Actually, we're just now going more than 3 miles an hour, and there's no place for me to pull over because there are vehicles everywhere, and cops are going by, not letting people pull over, and there's people. It's crazy. So coming up, it was like they had an announcement that I guess there was a overturned truck at Grapevine exit northbound on the 5. And if anybody from California knows what that's about, it's like really crazy. So I was like, oh, then it said there was a 3-hour delay. So I stopped off at Pyramid Lake and hung out there for a while, and I had no cell phone service, which is why this had to delay an hour. Thank you, Elizabeth, for that. And I was like, okay, it looks like it's picking up, so the delay is now 2 hours. And I just was like, there's nowhere to go. I'm in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing, and we're finally getting to the point of where we're coming out of it. But everybody's coming out of it, so everybody's exiting. So I'm going to wait a couple exits because there's just I can't get over. I'm just rolling along very slowly along with everybody else. So yeah. So it was I haven't even come up on the wreck, and I don't know if they've cleared it off, but now we're coming to a standstill again. So that's my little adventure that's going on right now, and life's about having an adventure. So I was kind of like, okay, well, I'll just pull off. So I pulled off at Pyramid Lake and hung out there for about an hour and a half, and they close at 7, so they were telling people to leave by 6:30. So I left a little after 6 to see. I left a little before 6 to see if I could get somewhere where I had a cell phone signal. I'm like, the Grapevine is notorious for bad cell phone signal, but since I'm coming out of it now, the signal's a lot better. So anyway, that's my adventure for today. My whole plan was, because I didn't want to go up tomorrow and then pick up the puppy and then turn around and come back. I just wanted to, I'll go up somewhere, stay the night, and turn around and come back. I don't know how far I'm going to get now with the way this is going. Sun's going down, and yeah, it's crazy. But this is the only way, unless you're on the 101, which is kind of further over. Had I thought about it, I might, or known about this accident, I might have taken that and gone up and cut over somewhere else. It might have been a better situation, but it is what it is, and I'm okay. I've got a vehicle, I've got gas, I've got air conditioning, I got sunlight, the sun's going down, and I've got water, so don't like being stuck in traffic, but hey, it is what it is, and I'm just kind of grateful that it kind of turned out that I'm safe, so that's good. And I'm watching all this, and we're just going so slow, so it's kind of, I was at a stop, so I was able to start this from a stop, so I was safe, just letting everybody know that. Anyway, Um, what? Today we're supposed to be talking about Fair Trade Friday, and I've started to share the fair trade principles again to talk about those, um, which, today's principle is about actually doing fair trade, supporting fair trade, buying fair trade. And if you look in the post that I put up today, um, it talks about what fair trade is, kind of the definition of it, which I've shared before. But if you haven't heard it before, it's basically helping places where there are marginalized people that can't get a break with their products and services to kind of basically help connect those, build a relationship, and be a kind of supply chain stream. So what I'm doing with the ladies in Kenya, we work together as a team. They make the products, and I work on selling the products, getting wholesale orders for the products, and even when I was working on getting speaking opportunities so I could teach on negotiation, but also share the story about the ladies in fair trade. And I've talked about this before, but I like to repeat it for anybody who's never listened to the show before. The importance of taking the time to look at the things that you buy and see if you can replace, if you don't do it now, replace one thing with fair trade, whether it be tea, coffee, sugar, anything, chocolate, especially chocolate. I'm always talking about the chocolate situation. So you just replace one thing with fair trade. It's not like, oh, I'm just like recycling. It's not like, oh, I'm going to suddenly become completely sustainable. Those things all take time. For instance, I've just reduced my footprint, I guess you could say, instead of using and I use like one of those organic brands of laundry detergent, but now I'm using the laundry sheets. It comes in a little box that's recyclable. It's in a plastic bag, which is interesting, but at least it's not a big thing of plastic, and you don't know if it goes to get recycled or not, but it takes up less of a footprint. So I've changed that, and I use I think 7th Gen is one of the 7th Gen or Myers dryer sheets are the ones I use, which have organic type materials. And I'm changing things one at a time. Like, for instance, at Fair Trade Long Beach, we have a couple of vendors. We have 3 vendors, actually, that off the top of my head, that have fair trade products like soaps and lotions and deodorant and shampoos and things like that. So I'm slowly working bits and pieces of those things in. There's one, it's a holistic deodorant, which has lavender in it. So I replaced the one I was using with that. And soaps, I get some of the soaps from one of the ladies there, and another one has some body lotion. So I'm helping support. Those are local fair trade. So at Fair Trade Long Beach, we have local and global. So it's local fair trade and global fair trade. So what I'm doing in Kenya is global, but we also have local people that make things. One of the partners at Fair Trade Long Beach makes candles. She works with artisans in other countries, but she also makes candles herself. So she's like global and local. So it's supporting those kind of businesses, thinking about where your products come from, supporting fair trade locally and globally. So shops like 10,000 Villages, Fair Trade Long Beach in Long Beach, California. You can, wherever you live, if you live in Southern California, there's a lot. If you live in Southern California and haven't visited Fair Trade Long Beach, make it a point to do so. Actually, next Saturday, I won't be there because of a family wedding, but next Saturday is our second Saturday in the Long Beach area there at the Park Village shops, and there'll be all fair trade artisans there. I would normally be there. There'll be artists there. There'll be people with all types of different holistic products. There's everything from dog treats to candles to lotions to clothing to jewelry to artwork. And those are the kind of things that when you think about making a purchase, taking the time to support those artists and knowing where your things are made, who makes your products, who makes your clothes. Look at the labels and the things that are made. Are they coming from a place that actually respects the employees that work for the company? Do the employees get paid fairly? Do they have a transparent look into how they operate their business? For instance, there was somebody who was like, "Oh, we're looking for people with dogs to model our dog products, blah, blah, blah." And so I sent a thing and it said, "Say hi." And I said, "Hi, where are your products made?" They didn't come back with where the products were made. "Oh, send us a picture of your dog." So I sent a picture. And if they come back with something, I mean, like, okay, again, where are your products made? If I can't verify that the products are actually fair trade, I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to put my name, my brand, anything on a product that I can't trace the origins of where it's made. And typically we know things made in China or there's a lot of bad labor conditions. And unless you have a transparent look into that, you can look on websites and find out. It'll say, like, you see these ads for these clothes, really pretty dresses and stuff, and they're really cheap. Like, the price really should be $80 to $100, and it's like $29.99. And you're looking on the website to find out something about their supply chain and it says nothing. So it's okay, that's hidden. I'm not going to buy that because I don't know where that's made. And I'm conscious of that now since I became involved in fair trade. And that's something important to look at every aspect. You don't have to do it all at once. I certainly haven't done it all at once, but I'm more cognizant and more aware by supporting fair trade, by being part of a fair trade organization like the Fair Trade Federation, which you can go to fairtradefederation.org and find more information about all 9 fair trade principles, which I'm going to go over them every week, probably over the next 9 weeks, or intermingle them with other things, but just explaining a little bit more about fair trade so maybe you can make a decision. I've had people say, "Oh, I never even knew the chocolate industry is using child labor." Some of the biggest offenders are Hershey's, Mars, the big chocolate manufacturers. You can go look up, if you put chocolate in Google, I have an article about it on my blog several months ago, you will find that those companies are still using chocolate that came from slave labor. So and there's actually a lawsuit. I have to look and see what the status of the lawsuit is. The lawsuit was filed on behalf of, I think, 9. They're adults now, but they were kids that were forced into child labor. And what that means, they were forced. They were taken from their homes, basically kidnapped, and they're forced to pick the leaves, and they don't get to go to school. They don't get to be with their families. They don't get to have a life that a normal kid, they don't have a chance at education, so they don't have an opportunity to grow and better themselves and make their own choices, which that's horrible. And that they've been doing it for years, and they've been promising not to do it, but they've been doing it for years, and they continue to do it. So, for instance, I sometimes send, I think I've shared about this before, fairy tale brownies out to raving fans and different customers as a thank you. And I had found out about them before I got involved in fair trade, and then when I got involved in fair trade, I had to go and actually look them up to see if, in fact, where they got their chocolate from. And it doesn't say on their website, so I wrote them. I emailed them and said, okay, I run a fair trade business. I'm a verified member of the Fair Trade Federation, and I love your brownies, but I need to know where your chocolate's made. And they said, oh, we totally understand here. And they gave me the website, and I went and researched the website. And they actually, where they get their chocolate from, it's Belgian chocolate, but where the chocolate is gotten from, they have programs for kids to go to school, and they're helping make sure the kids are in school and that they're not working and that the parents are earning a fair wage. That's fair trade, and that's that chocolate may not be uh, fair trade verified or whatever, but that's still fair trade principles. So I'm okay with that. And it takes some time to do some work around those things. But if you, like I keep saying, just pick one product that you use all the time. A lot of people drink coffee or tea. You can get fair trade coffee or tea. Just Tea is one of my favorite tea brands. The tea is grown in Kenya, and they're a verified member of the Fair Trade Federation. I love their tea. So you can get it like that, or you can look in the store. Like if you go in Whole Foods, if you have a Whole Foods in your area, they have a lot of fair trade chocolate, fair trade coffee, fair trade tea. And you can look and see the symbols on the back that say that they're fair trade verified products. Um, so that's just what I wanted to share a little bit about the importance of buy fair trade. Buying fair trade also is helping small businesses. It's helping the small business, the person who's like Baskets and Beads. I'm working a job to make sure the business expenses are still covered while we're building back after COVID. The ladies in Kenya are still not able to sell on the streets. They lifted so 2 days after I left Kenya, they put a stringent curfew, 7 p.m. to 4 a.m., I believe, 4 or 5 a.m., and then no markets, no church, no nothing, no gatherings, nothing. They cut it all out 2 days after I left Kenya. So if I hadn't gone when I did, I wouldn't have been able to actually gather with the ladies, because we did have a gathering every day. And they have lifted the restriction to where people can go to church, but still and the curfew's back to 10 p.m. But there's no selling on the street, so the ladies aren't able to sell there. So we're still raising money for food packs at basketsandbeadskenya.org if you want to donate to that. But I'm getting ready to send Layla over there funds to make sure that we can get food packs again this month. And I'm just grateful, through walking by faith every single month, enough money has showed up to make sure that they have food. And I can't sit at my table and eat food, or like I'm out here on the road and I'm going to drive through somewhere or stop somewhere and eat. I can't consciously do that and feel good about myself if I don't make sure that they eat, because they're like my family. They are my family, my extra family over in Kenya. And it pains me to think that they and their kids would go hungry. So basketsandbeadskenya.org. We're also raising money for 5. I had a sponsor for 2 kids, 2 street kids, and then 3 other kids of the ladies, but the sponsor hasn't responded, so we've been covering those costs. And so we're looking for sponsors for kids to have them go to school, to cover their fees, their tuition, their supplies, their uniforms. And the older kids have to board, so it's not a choice with day school. They board at school and it's year-round school. They have breaks, but they go to school year-round. Those are just some of the things we're doing. But one exciting thing that's happening is Safari Park is having Kenya Days on next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 13th, 14th, and 15th in August, Safari Park in San Diego. And I am still stuck in this. I thought I'd be out of this by now. I'm still stuck, and there's just like nowhere for me to go. It's just like, if I was sitting over there and somebody else was driving, I would show you. It's crazy. There's just tons of traffic, and I'm doing 15 miles an hour. It's crazy. I was at a standstill though, so I'm kind of grateful that it's moving, and eventually I'll get to stop somewhere. But so Safari Park having Kenya Days, and they are going to have Baskets and Beads products there. I'll talk more about that on Swahili Sunday. By the way, Swahili Sunday, Layla from Kenya will be joining us to give an update on what's going on in Kenya, what's going on with the ladies, and how the government is doing different things, and also an update on our NGO. We're starting an NGO, non-government organization, basically the same thing as a nonprofit. We're starting an NGO in Kenya with the sole purpose of buying land so we can build a manufacturing place for the ladies to make the beads, and we can build our farm and our housing that we have planned. That's our big plan. Don't know how that's going to happen. That's not up to me. I'm just praying God provides on that, and so I'm walking by faith there. So that's everything that's going on, and I will, Swahili Sunday will probably be on the road or from where I'm dropping the stuff off in San Diego, because I have to take the beads down there. I don't have to, but I chose to do that instead of mailing them because of the quantity that they ordered is pretty heavy, and I'd kind of like to just take a drive, because that drive down to San Diego is really nice. When you go through Camp Pendleton, you can see the ocean. Yeah, it'll be great. Another adventure. I like to get out and about. Don't get to do that much, but yeah. So that's an update of everything that's going on. I thought that I would surely be out of this before this, but thought I was going to do this from a parking lot. I tried to do it from the Pyramid Lake, but I had 0 to 1 bar, and I couldn't get any websites. But thankfully, I have 5 bars now, and we're rolling. So I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. You can follow along. I'll post pictures of the new Baby Girl Crazy Paws 2, and it's going to be interesting. I think the cats are going to be like, what? Another one? Because Gracie's going to be at the house for another, I think, about 3 weeks before they move to Redondo Beach, Jason and son and Gracie. So then it'll just be me and the cats and whatever I name this puppy. So I'm excited. I'm excited because I want to train her to maybe do agility and probably do some service dog training. And yeah, it's going to be fun. All right, everybody, until Sunday, join me Sunday for Swahili Sunday from wherever I am going to be broadcasting from. It'll be on the road, because if I don't get out, the way it works around Southern California, for those of you who don't live in SoCal, if you don't get out on the weekend early in the morning, it will take you hours to get to San Diego. So I'm going to have to leave early to avoid that crazy traffic, like probably 7 a.m. or something, and so I can do that, and then I have to turn and burn and come back because I have some orders to fill, and then I also have to, my daughter and I are going for a photo shoot with some of the Baskets and Beads jewelry and another collaboration with Scarlet Poppy. You may have seen Scarlet Poppy pictures of my daughter wearing their beautiful clothing from India, and then also the Baskets and Beads jewelry. So we'll be doing a lot of that this weekend. Full weekend. I'm not going to get much rest. All right, everybody, have a good weekend, and I will be talking to you soon. Until then, Nakupenda.